Hello, Mark Larson here for the Dreamcatcher podcast. Thanks for joining us. Today, my guest is Mark Schultz. Welcome, Mark.
Hello, thank you.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you. It's been a great start to the morning. The weather is great, and it's
Yeah,
a good time to be in the Midwest.
that makes a difference with the weather being nice. That is for sure.
Yes.
So Mark, where are you located at?
I'm currently in Northeast South Dakota. I've had plans of relocating, but for now I'm in near like where I grew up and around my
Okay,
family. So uh, enjoying
but that is where
the
you grew
winter
up. I
times.
didn't realize that. I just thought maybe
Yeah.
you moved there. Okay,
Yep.
so well, we kind of met. Was that 2018 out in California? Was there
Yes. Yep.
2019 something
In
like
San
that?
Diego. Yep.
Life on Fire, and which was pretty awesome. And I've kept track of a lot of people from that group. And so, Mark, when you were out there, we were trying to doing coaching, life coaching, what was your idea from when we met there? What were you going to do with that? With coaching?
When I first went there, I was just looking for answers. I had just gotten out of, or well, yeah, I was struggling at the time with some things that uh, had to do with family and business and stuff like that, and just looking for something to lift me up. And I had gone to an event prior to that, met some people, and then they brought me into that event, and um, yeah, from there, I started getting more interested in becoming a coach
Okay.
or helping people in some manner. I didn't know how, but it was something that I wanted to do.
Okay. What had you been doing before that, as for like work or?
So most of my life, I had been in engineering. I designed automation equipment and a whole number of things. I worked on defense contracts, nuclear contracts,
Wow.
medical device, and aerospace stuff like that. It is
Uh,
across the board, um, and it was fun for a while, but it lost its luster. And so I had gotten into uh, to real estate investing, and that's
okay.
when I got involved with a family member, um, and things were going pretty good. But then, like the things that are unresolved in family show up even more in business.
Oh
And
yes, I know that from my own experience too. Yeah. So
yeah, so I
I mean,
ended up going back to engineering for a while after that, and then that's when I kind of fell into this.
okay. It's interesting how life has that happen. It's just kind of when you're not looking for that. So
Yeah, absolutely.
when you were out there, where were you living then? I was trying to think where you were.
When I met you, I was working in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, actually,
Milwaukee. Okay. So
and
has there
then
been a? Go ahead.
it was like, and then right after that, I ended up moving to Oregon. So I think we may have actually met at events out there twice. I can't remember
I
for
think
sure.
so. Yeah.
So the second time would have been when I was in Oregon.
Okay. So did you like Oregon, or has there been a place in the country you like better than another?
Uh, my favorite, I really enjoyed Florida. I also like loved the outdoors in Oregon.
Okay.
I There were some things I didn't enjoy about Oregon, but like scenery wise, it was amazing. And then I was in Tennessee,
Wow.
upstate New York. Colorado. I've lived in 13 different states, so I've gotten to see a lot of.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well, that's good. I mean, I definitely like Florida in the winter, or when it's kind
yeah,
of William and zero whatever here.
yeah. It was great.
So, Mark, what are you doing now for your profession or what your calling?
I work pretty much primarily and 100% right now as a coach and a trainer.
Okay. Okay.
I have one-on-one coaching clients, and then I also train others in the techniques that I'm not only certified in training, but then other things that I've developed on my own.
Okay. Awesome. So
I
you
do
do.
I do
Go
some
ahead.
work in sales. I do some work in sales too, and I'm working on developing a sales training actually um, to provide to clients as well.
Okay. So how do you said you develop some of your own. How do you just have an idea and run with it, or just how do you do that?
Yeah, so typically it's been where you start getting familiar with the coaching stuff and you
Uh,
start seeing things in people, you recognize certain things, and uh, like there's an intuition that just like they need to go here, and so you kind of like abandon the scripts and or the processes, and you just like take them to where you know that they have to go, and then all of a sudden you realize like, well, that's actually something that I could repeat. You
oh yeah.
sometimes there are things that are they're just one-off opportunities, but then there are other things that I've noticed and I've been able to use it repeatedly and developed different techniques out of it. Like the one I just recently done, I refer to it as uh, a quantum recalibration. My business is called Quantum Coherence Academy, so
Okay.
it just kind of ties along with with the name.
No, that is neat. So, I mean, all this stuff. I mean, you said you coach. Do you coach a certain amount of people, or is there a number, or do you do group coaching, or
So I typically do one-on-one coaching.
okay,
Uh, we do typically what is referred to as breakthrough coaching. I don't spend very often more than like 2 to 3 weeks with the client.
okay,
Um, we focus on like typically it's about 5 calls, and they're anywhere from 2 to 3 hours long, and
wow,
we bust through it quickly and just you get through all the stuff and
uh, yeah,
and get them rewired, and they're typically noticing results before they even get to the second call.
wow,
and
excellent.
and then I also do your 4-day personal development event as well.
Okay, wow. So, how do people find you?
My website is Quantum Coherence Academy, and
Okay,
they wanted to reach out and email me. It's simply Mark at Quantum Coherence Academy.
awesome. Okay,
I'm
we'll
on
definitely
Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that too. But,
we'll put that in the show notes too. There, so that's
all
awesome.
right,
So
great.
Mark, what when we were out in California, we learned a little bit about NLP, which I had never heard of it before that. But is NLP part of what you do with when you're coaching?
Yeah, so it's the groundwork of everything. It's the foundation of everything I do. When
Okay.
when I learned NLP, the first time I learned NLP was actually in a sales training, and then
Okay.
several years later, I came across this opportunity, and I remember in the sales training thinking, if I ever get a chance to learn more about this, I have to. So
Yeah.
I did, and what I didn't realize was typically NLP is taught with 3 other modalities,
Okay.
and that's you coaching, hypnosis, and a technique called timeline techniques, which is kind of
Okay.
a shadow, like what they refer to as shadow work. Uh,
Okay.
in America, the American board refers to it as timeline therapy, but because it's not seen as therapy through the
Mhm.
the you know, the medical industry, I just avoid that term altogether. So it's not, you can't say that it's a healing technique, but what I say is oftentimes people who go through the process find a lot of healing.
Okay. So where I mean, if somebody was interested in NLP, and can you I kind of know what it stands for, but what does it stand for?
Okay. So it's neuro linguistic programming. So
Okay.
neuro meaning like your brain or your mind,
Right.
uh, linguistic meaning communication, and that's not just like the words you use. It's you it's far more than that. It's like your tonality, stuff like that, but it's also your body language, your physiology, your eye movements, all that kind of stuff. And then programming is essentially the thing in between. So there's your mind and the way that you communicate, and the way that you communicate is dictated on how your mind is programmed. So you can you pick up cues and learn how to communicate best with someone, so that you get into rapport with them quicker. You make them more comfortable. You can hear some of the problems that they might be having, or hear the areas where a problem might exist that they're not aware of. There's all sorts of great things about it. It's great in sales for being able to approach somebody without you building up resistance from you, the client building up resistance to you, or finding ways to mellow that resistance. And then just you hearing things that people don't know that they're sharing, because most people are unaware of what they're sharing, and the things that are really being said. And if people never got into NLP for anything else, it would be great just to have when you like watch the news, or television, so you knew that how you were getting programmed and what they were trying to program you with, because it's you'll never see the world again the same after you've gone through the training.
That I'm sure. And yeah, once you see it, you cannot not see it either, especially on the news. Yeah. But you'll have people that argue with you that, there's no program, but yeah, I guess that's what they believe, I guess, and what you believe. So,
well, if you say something enough times, it becomes true to your unconscious, whether it's true or not.
Yeah.
If you hear something repetitively, your unconscious starts giving it credibility, and so it doesn't matter if it's the truth or not. Your unconscious believes it to be true. So if you look at the media on both sides and how they're repeatedly saying the same things over and over, it's for a purpose.
Yes, that's for sure. So this 4-day event that you said you've had one, or you've had a couple, or you have one coming up soon?
I've got another one coming up this summer. It'll be the 3rd.
Okay. So what does that, 4 days, that's a lot to fill. So what do you do in those 4 days?
So I essentially, when I started doing timeline work with people, eventually I began to realize that there were everybody had all sorts of different experiences and all sorts of different problems, but the core problem that they all had was essentially the same thing.
Really?
Yes. And so when I realized that, I was like, well, how could I create something to like help people get through that, like in a group session, and serve more people, at once. And so I started, breaking this down and utilizing some of the things that I learned in NLP, some of the things I've learned elsewhere, and then just also understanding, observing what I've done with my clients and how I get them from one place to another. And so I've done similar in, and I've added a lot more, but it's really intense in some ways, but it's also really exciting and fulfilling. I haven't had one person that's left that didn't say that it was life-changing.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. And so, there's some similarity to the format that, the event that you and I met at.
Okay.
But, or no, we weren't at the same one, I don't think. Maybe we were, but the 4-day event that we met at, there's some mine is based more on just getting people to becoming the best version of themselves by the end of the event. It's not as much about that one was put on by a marketer to sell business and marketing packages, but mine is more based on let's just like get you to be able to live your optimal life, being the best version of you possible. So
do you run the whole event by yourself, or do you surely you have people that help support you?
I had I have 3 former students that help right now, and as it grows, I'm continuing to add more and then former attendees as well. But it's it ran very smoothly the last time we did it. Everybody that was helping had been through one now, because the first time it was all me and one woman, Eleanor, you know her, she helped me on that one because I needed some assistance, and part of it, just to peek into it a little bit, we focus a little bit on the masculine and feminine energies in life, and like if I didn't have somebody of the opposite sex to speak, I think I would probably lose credibility to a certain number of people talking. But then it also helps give even more perspective, like having a female voice to give perspective on from their experiences, not just because they're female, but from their experiences being in whatever the situations that we talk about. And so I wanted it to be as balanced and inviting and all-encompassing as possible in regards to that.
No, I think that. So, what locations, or where are you keeping a certain location for running your 4-day event, or?
I currently have been holding it in Minneapolis, and I probably will. Well, I will this summer. I had plans to do one in Florida earlier this year, but then, or I should say, it was going to be this early this spring, but the hurricane kind of got in our way. So
change plans.
So my goal is to have it in 4 different locations at 4 different times of the year.
Nice, very nice. So how far is Minneapolis from where you live?
It's about 3 hours, 3.5.
Okay.
No.
So
it's convenient. I spent most of my adult life there. So I'm very familiar with it. I've got some good connections there, and I've got I've got a great relationship with the people that manage a hotel there. So it works pretty well.
Perfect. That's really good. So Mark, I got to ask you, since this is a Dreamcatcher podcast, what were your dreams when you were growing up as a kid? What'd you want to become?
There were, I'll say, there were a lot of things that I considered.
Okay.
But then I also to be honest, I didn't know that I could achieve them, because the way that things were in our household, and maybe even in our town, like the environment didn't foster a lot of like the belief that you could become what you wanted, and so that was, again, kind of, when talking about the family thing, that was a big contributor to a lot of the things that I struggled with in life, and that's ultimately what made me pursue this. And and the reality is, it's probably what made me so good at this, because like your struggle becomes your superpower. And
true.
So but you generally, like At one time I wanted to be a mechanic because I wanted to be like my dad. I
Okay.
wanted to own a bunch of old muscle cars because that was something I was really into.
Yeah.
I thought about space. I thought about all sorts of things,
Cool.
race car driver, but
Pretty awesome.
yeah. But then as I got older, I started thinking more in terms of job rather than career or or business ownership or just dream chasing.
Yes. Yes. No, that's for sure. So Mark, would you want to would you do worldwide, or would you ever consider doing something in Europe with like one of these, what you're doing, or you want to
So
keep
the
it kind of,
event,
yeah, event
um,
and what you do? Do you have any,
I
do
haven't.
you get clients from like,
I've worked and trained people from uh, Argentina,
wow,
Greenland, Ireland, um, uh, England,
cool.
Spain, and the Canary Islands.
Wow, that's a few places. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of strange. Like the Canary Islands was like very kind of strange.
I
I didn't
bet.
strange in the fact that I didn't ever expect to be working with somebody like that, but thanks to technology,
Yes. It's
like the
amazing.
one good thing that came out of COVID was that um, people became much more comfortable
True.
um, and open to doing things virtually, and so it's allowed me to tap into a world I never would have
Oh, yeah.
expected.
All those Zoom calls. They
Yeah,
were
yeah,
one thing. That's for
yep.
sure. A few of them then. So Mark, do you like to write, or probably do you speak in front of people like groups?
So I've done some speaking. I mean, other than my event where you're
Sure.
speaking for 4 days, I've done some. Uh, I'm considering writing a book on something that I've
Okay.
been working on to teach more, and I've got some things in the works on doing more public speaking. But right now, I'm doing more public trainings than
Sure.
true speaking.
Okay. Would you ever consider doing a podcast yourself? Having your own?
I I had considered it at one time, and uh, a former student of mine or a former client of mine and I were going to do it together, but then uh, things happened, and I um, you like the moment was there, and then it was kind of gone. I've considered it again.
Okay.
It's a matter of like knowing what is the most important thing for me to what is the message that I really want to put out there, like
Yeah.
determining what that focus is, because um, I've you with my training and the clients that I've had, it's like um, there's so much variety. It,
Oh, I bet.
so um, it's made it something that I've struggled to like just niche down.
Okay.
I have a lot of things that you could potentially talk about, and I also have to make sure that I'm passionate enough about them that I would make them
Like,
like
yes,
worth watching. Um,
yes, yeah. I know
and
what you're saying, too.
and in doing so, I wouldn't pull away from the other work that I'm doing.
Yeah, yeah. You don't want to. Yeah, I know what you mean there too. So let's say you have a client comes to you, or potential client that wants to work with you, and they kind of they have all these big dreams, but they don't think they have kind of imposter syndrome. Kind of like why would kind of like with me starting the podcast, why would anybody want to listen to me or all these? How do you go about helping somebody work through that?
Well, I guess the first thing that you would want to do is find out when they decided that nobody wanted to listen to them,
Okay, that's interesting.
because quite often that's something that's seeded in your childhood. It was for me,
Yeah,
and it was not only a fear of doing it, but it was also like something that when I wasn't heard, I would get like upset, or when I felt that I wasn't being heard, I would get upset, and it was it all stemmed back to childhood. And like there's a phrase I posted on social media one time about the paradox of childhood trauma. Like those who weren't heard don't hear, those who weren't seen don't see. And so whatever you're struggling with, it's a result of something that happened early on, and you struggle with it as well, going you with others, because you're so focused on that, you lose sight of how that's showing up between you and other people. But typically, people who would are either afraid of speaking, or that really want to but are apprehensive. It's typically because they haven't felt comfortable being heard in their life, and so it's a matter of getting them beyond the events in their life that caused them to feel that way. And once that's gone, it's like no holds barred.
Okay.
When you I wouldn't say that when you're born, like your mind is like free from negativity, but what I will say is, like, more than not, everything that you need is provided to you. But what it's negative beliefs, negative states that limit you. So if you free yourself from the limiting beliefs or the negative states, your natural state or your natural capacity will be able to provide you everything you need in order to accomplish what you want.
Nice. No, and I hear you from childhood. That's when most of my stuff, where I got to be a very quiet person, because it just one thing, I was safe when I didn't say anything. So, or I thought I was. Yeah, but no. So, Mark, where would you like what you do? I mean, like in 5 years, what does that look like? What would you like it to look like?
I would really enjoy so my goal has been to create as much positive change in the world as possible. And that's why I became a trainer, not just a coach, because I wanted to be able to help others do the same type of work that I am. And learning from me, I feel like they would learn how to do it in a more ethical manner, because like some of the first people that taught this to me, I would say were not ethical. But
okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
But also, that would just allow my influence to stretch further. And so, like in 5 years, I'd love to see like my business consisting of a bunch of other coaches that work for me, and hundreds of other coaches that I've trained.
Nice. So we both know Dr. Karen Kramer. Do you do collaborations, or do you do things together, or with other people that are doing the same thing as you?
I have done, I collaborated with Eleanor.
Okay.
I haven't done much with the people that you and I both know.
Okay.
I'm working on some collaborations right now. One with somebody in the sales industry, another somebody who's a business coach.
Okay.
So I'm working on stuff like that. I enjoy that. I enjoy collaborating with people, and as long as we're both aligned and with a similar outcome or desired outcome. Yeah.
So, Mark, in your free time, what are some of the things you enjoy to do? I mean, do you like traveling, or do you? What are some of the things you do in your free time?
Yeah, definitely. Traveling is always good. I almost feel it's almost cliche now. Everybody talks about traveling, but I definitely love like getting away out, like into the mountains or out into the wild, rather than into the big cities and stuff like that. Although there are parts of the cities I enjoy.
Yeah.
I also airbrush.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. About once every year or two, I take a bunch of people and we go up to northern Canada and spend
Oh, wow.
4 or 5 days on a remote island.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And
How'd you get started on that?
my dad started it. He started doing it the summer before I was born, and he did it every year of his life after. And so I started going up with him at an early age, and I fell in love with it. And then after he passed, I continued the tradition as often as I could.
Yeah, what a great tradition to continue.
And now I've like got in the works making it, instead of like a friends and family event every once in a while, like I'm actually working on potentially making it into a men's retreat or something like that, and
that would be cool.
having it more intentional. Yeah.
Okay. No, keep me on the loop on that one.
All right. Yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
We'll do.
So how far north are you in Canada then?
It'd be about 550 miles north of the border.
Whoa, quite a ways north then. So
yeah, you rarely ever run into anybody else. You're pretty much on that lake all by yourself.
That would be, that'd be.
In fact, like for the most, the only way to get up there other than by airplane is by a logging road. So we go up the logging road, get off at a bridge, get on a boat, and it's about a 4.5 mile ride by boat out to the island.
That's getting away. Just being in nature. Oh my gosh. So probably a lot of wildlife, or is there very much wildlife there?
Oh yeah, like you'll see bear, moose, lots of bald eagles. So occasionally you'll see a golden eagle, which is pretty incredible. Lots of different things.
Very cool. I love that. Yeah. So do you like to cook?
Yeah, I love to cook, but I don't do it as often when it's just myself. But every once in a while, I'll get sick of doing the same old, and
I can relate to that. Yes, I like to cook, but sometimes you get tired of having it over and over and over and over again. So yes,
right. And I become terrible at conversation when I'm having dinner with myself.
Well, yeah, I can understand that too. So, Mark, sometime when you're going through Nebraska, we need to if you're on your way on Interstate 80, because we're not that far apart.
We're not
north of me. So meet somewhere in Grand Island or one of those states and have a meal or something like that. So
yeah, that'd be great.
So I have to ask, what is like one of your favorite things to cook?
I have a Cajun pasta that is.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Fabulous. Yeah, I really love that. It's one of those things where, like, I'd gone to a restaurant when I was living in Minneapolis and had it, and it was absolutely amazing. So I'd go back there quite frequently, and then the place ended up closing down. Somebody else bought it and turned it into a pizza shop. And and like there was like this huge hole in my being not having
that. When you really like food.
And so one day I was at the grocery store and I'm like, I need to try to like figure out how to cook that. So I started experimenting and I even added a few things that it didn't have, and it turned out fabulous. And so everybody that has it is pretty wowed by it if they like spicy food.
I do. So have you ever been down to like New Orleans and tried their food down? Oh yeah, I like their food down there too. So
yeah, I love like the food of that area.
Me too.
I've only been down to Louisiana twice, but one of the places I haven't lived, but
no, that's pretty interesting down there. I know when Cheryl and I, we went with my sister-in-law too, and went and saw the alligators and stuff like that, and found out how much they like marshmallows.
Yeah,
was good because we had one get on the airboat with us. So
Oh boy.
yeah, but that's definitely a different world down there. That's for sure. So
Yeah. I
so
didn't have
Mark,
any run-ins with alligators, but when I was in Florida, I had a run-in with an alligator and um, a 19-foot like python.
oh wow, that's a big snake.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's huge. Like you
Uh,
just, I'll never
I,
forget the sight of that as long as I live.
I bet that's one thing that I'm glad right where I mean I don't know if you have we don't have really any poisonous snakes right here where I'm at, and I have nothing like that thankfully either.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
oh my gosh, I can't imagine. So, but I can't imagine having an alligator, in your backyard or all that stuff too. So,
right.
well, Elizabeth Moore, you remember her? So she's in Florida now, and she shows alligators and stuff down there. And we had another
Oh,
friend. It was going over a chain link fence, and it's like, wow, the alligators climb chain link fences quite well. So,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
I don't know. But so, Mark, what's coming up in the near future that you want to like to tell the audience about?
So I'm currently preparing my practitioner training to get
Okay. Okay.
certified as a coach and learn the 4 techniques that I teach at the practitioner level. I'm currently recording that so that I can present it as a hybrid training. So instead of, I typically do it live virtually for 7 days, and I'm still going to do that, but that would take place over a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then the following Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. One of the problems that most people have with that is that they just can't commit to 7 days, like full days. So what I've done is take those 7 days and make it into 7 weeks. I'll pre-record the classroom training and allow them to watch each day as a week's curriculum at their pace. And then at the end of every week, have like a review Q&A and practice session, and then release the next week's training. And then so it's more self-paced and less time intrusive, and and so that'll be coming out like the end of April or early March.
Okay.
I mean early May. Excuse me.
Okay.
We're in.
Okay. Still not too far away. Fast as this year's
Right,
already.
and then my formula for fulfillment event will probably be in July again. That's when I've hosted it the last 2 years.
Okay.
And,
So do you put up posts about that, or do you like share things? Do you put up posts when that's coming up, when you have your events coming up, or?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Okay. And Mark, can you continue? I'm sure there's more training you could get. Are you doing that, or is that something you're working towards, or maybe you haven't already done?
So my next step is to pursue my master training certification, but also I'm looking into HUNA training, and there's a couple other things that I've been exploring, maybe some more in hypnosis, but there's so there's been I think initially NLP was started as a modeling technique, like how to model success, right? And like a lot of industries, the only way that they can make it is to present it in a way that's going to generate revenue for you, but as a result of going to it. So they sold it as you're great for sales and business and whatnot, but there's a lot of I'm not going to say healing, but there are a lot of things in it that cause, as a result, some people too find profound effects similar to healing. And and so there's a lot to it that people don't understand in that regard, and it provides a lot of value. And some of the things that I've already started developing, I want to pursue some some trainings that are going to help me develop that part of it even more.
Nice, very nice. So,
Yeah.
so I mean, I can tell this is your passion too. So I
Oh,
can tell
absolutely. Yeah.
very, very much. So Mark, before we end the podcast, is there anything else you would like to share that maybe is coming up in later in the year, or or just anything you'd like to share with the audience before we end?
Well, beside my upcoming my weekly or my 7-week training,
Okay.
the event in July, I'll probably have another practitioner training in September, and
Okay.
I'm not sure if that'll be the more self-paced one or if that'll be the live virtual one. We'll see the results of the hybrid one coming up. Typically, I'll have a training every 3 months or so, and
Cool.
then I am going to be a part of a mastermind coming up. I haven't got the dates on that yet, but
Okay.
if people go to the website and sign up for the newsletter or training updates, they'll get more information on that.
Okay. So you have a newsletter then too.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. Good to know. Okay. Very good. So, well, Mark, thanks for being my guest on the Dreamcatcher podcast. This is so cool. And who would have thought back in 2018? You just never know
Right.
how past process in and out and everything else like that. So, and keep you informed on that men's retreat. That sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
that sounds really cool. So,
It absolutely will be. I mean, just getting up there is amazing enough, and then anything else that we add would be even better. But
yeah, that sounds so cool. That is for sure. So, well, Mark,
absolutely.
go ahead. You can say something?
Oh, no, I just said absolutely. I look forward to it.
Yeah, no, that sounds so cool. So, Mark, thanks for joining us on the podcast. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll be talking soon. And thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure, and best of luck to you in continuing this great format
Appreciate
of reaching
that.
people. You're welcome. Take care.
Yeah, you too.
Bye.